You said it, Bowser, whatever it is you just said. Alright guys, you're probably wondering why Mario Kart Wii is on your screen instead of, say, Mario Kart 8. Well, as you probably know, Nintendo recently announced Mario Kart 8's getting new tracks in the form of DLC, and one of them just happens to be Wario's Gold Mine from this game. So I figured we'd do what we've done in the past with some retro tracks we knew were coming back, and basically give you a quick tour of the original track, in case you haven't played Mario Kart Wii in a while and want a refresher, or if you've never played this game, it'll give you some idea of what to expect from the track when it reappears in Mario Kart 8. And on top of it all, I'll give you my ideas of what they could do to upgrade the track in Mario Kart 8 to take advantage of Mario Kart 8's unique gameplay mechanics like flying, anti-gravity, and underwater racing, with an emphasis on anti-gravity. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll choose Wario here to be thematically appropriate, of course, right? There's really no better character to be than Wario in this case. And here we go, into Wario's Gold Mine. So, if you've never played this track before, it actually is a pretty tricky track. I like the alliteration there. It takes place on a minecart track, or maybe a railroad track at the start here, I'm not quite sure which. And the track is overall, pretty thin, especially with 12 racers, and there's a lot of drop-offs, as you're going to see very soon. So here we are, the railroad tracks, and then there's this corner here, and you can see the drop-off starts right away. Luckily, that's not too tough right now, but it will get tough, in just a sec. Now, as you can see, it's actually a pretty expansive-looking course. There's a lot of tall warp pipes in the background emitting smoke. You can see there's houses embedded in the mountainside, which is a cool little touch. And if you take a close look at them, you can see they have a Wario hole or a window above the main windows, like a W-shaped window. And then on top of that, on the roof, literally, is more W. So Wario, just a little bit of an egotistical maniac. All right, so here we can see there's like a little railroad crossing here, which is cool. And then we'll continue into the track. Now this track being a minecart track, feels very much like a roller coaster with these dips and sharp turns. So here is dip number 1, and there's a speed pad here, and it's actually very easy to go flying off of, when you're actually racing for real against other people. And then we reach this corner here where there's a quarter pipe in Mario Kart Wii, which appear in a lava track, so you can do a stunt off of it, get some pretty big hang time and a stunt. Then we enter this tunnel that has bats that fly at you, and they are a hazard if you hit them. Luckily, they're pretty easy to avoid, but they can definitely slow you down. Now, exiting this, we actually reach the proper minecart section. You can see them in the background there, dropping off onto their own track. And we will see them shortly after this dip here, and off this jump. And here they are. Now, this is actually where things can get definitely more complicated. Because you're not only, you're dodging items, you're dodging racers, and you have to deal with these freaking minecarts. Now what's cool is, they are actually only a short part of the track, and that's because it leads into a cool portion here, where the track splits, and you have two options. You can go right, which is the main track, or you can take the little hidden path on the left there. Now we'll go right for right now, just to show you, just to show you what it's about, and it really isn't that much. It's just a dip here, and they'll take you right back outside before the final turn leading to the finish line. So really not much to say here. You can, technically drop off here, but it's kind of tricky too here. Alright, so we'll go back and we'll take the shortcut. And this one's actually pretty tricky because it requires proper timing to avoid running into these darn minecarts. It's also super easy to miss because it's even easy just to overlook, and you also have to be going fast enough to actually make it. So here we are. So we made this shortcut, and although it's technically longer because you're taking the wider route, these speed pads are what make it quite a bit quicker. And then we exit back outside. Then here's a final turn into one more quarter pipe you can take for a stunt if you want to the finish line. Alright, so there you go. Okay, so now it's time to give you my thoughts on what they can do to upgrade the track. Now, unfortunately, for better or worse, Nintendo has already shown off this track. Or specifically, a very small picture of just a small portion of the track. In fact, I can basically frame it so you can see what they showed off. And this is basically what it was. So you can see the Wario's Gold Mine picture, you can see the dip there, and the whole track in the background. Now, it's actually pretty hard to tell, to see exactly what's going on, but because I'm insane, I zoomed in for it, for our analysis, and basically, figured out what was happening here. And ultimately, not much. What you see here is basically how exactly it appears in Mario Kart 8. So it does not seem like they're changing anything. The only potential idea I have, which I'm almost confident they won't do, but one possibility is they could turn this whole section into anti-gravity section, basically make the whole level anti-gravity. Because, with this track resembling a roller coaster, there's so much they could do with it. And it would explain one thing coming up here, and that is, as far as I can tell in Mario Kart 8, this speed pad right here may be gone. Because we can't see it from the backside. So unless you can't see them from the backside in Mario Kart 8, it looks like it might be gone. And that would make sense if it's anti-gravity, because you can get speed boosts from people just by bumping into them in anti-gravity, and that would make this level insane. But, like I said, I don't think they're going to do that, because no other track in the game starts in anti-gravity. And although they could put an anti-gravity pad like right before where the picture was taken, and it would be after the finish line, I don't think they will. It's a possibility, but I don't think they will, especially because nothing they've shown off requires anti-gravity yet. So, like I said, that's going to make the first part of this track pretty boring, because there's not much for me to say, because otherwise the track is identical. You got that dip there, you make the turn. The only other thing we're not quite sure about is this quarter pipe, because you can't actually see it in the picture, because there's some new machinery in the wall blocking the view. Now, in the analysis I said that the quarter pipes in Mario Kart 7's retro tracks from the Wii version, you know, they came back as well. And so I said that's probably going to be the case here too. But I actually went back and played Mario Kart 7 to refresh my memory before doing this video, and I have to make a slight correction. While the quarter pipes technically did return, they actually changed them. So they added basically a roof to them so you can't jump off them anymore, and there's no more speed boosts. So it basically makes them pointless because you can't do stunts off them anymore. And I have a feeling they might do the same thing here too, because there are, as far as I can remember, there's no quarter pipes in Mario Kart 8. So it wouldn't make sense for them to come back here. So they'll probably do the same. They'll add like a fence or a wall above the quarter pipe, and you can drive up it if you want, but there's really no point. It just would take longer. Alright, moving on, we reach the tunnel. And finally, this is where we can finally start talking about what they might add for real, because we have no idea what they're actually going to do beyond this point. Now, based on what we've seen of how they've updated other tracks, I have a feeling they're probably not going to do much with this tunnel. I know the bats will come back for sure, or I'm pretty sure, because they are in the retro Yoshi's Valley track. So why wouldn't they just reuse the bats here, because they already have them? So those will be back. If they really want to, they could run with the anti-gravity idea, turn this into an anti-gravity section, make it so you drive up the walls. Maybe they could even split the track here, so you can drive up like either wall. You can basically make it so there's like a ravine going through it, and you drive up either wall and outside into the minecart section. Or, you know, they could make it so there's a jump in here or something. Who knows? Again, I think they'll probably keep the track the same. Now, out here is where I think they might switch up things. That's because this is where the track is kind of crazy. You can see the dip there, you got the jump, and then you, of course, have the minecarts coming up. So I have a feeling if the anti-gravity section doesn't start in the tunnel, which it might, then it's going to start right here, or right about here. Now, something else I could do real quick before I get back to the anti-gravity, they could add like a jump here, so you jump to the other half of the track. You know, it could even replace that jump up there if they don't, you know, or they might, you know, retain it. I don't know. There's really so much they could do with this section, but I have a feeling a lot of it will be anti-gravity. Because it would be such a waste to have such a great, like, roller coaster-like track and not be able to take full advantage of it. So yeah, if this is anti-gravity, then I can imagine this being like maybe a sharp bank, or maybe even corkscrew a bit. And then if they retain this jump, which they very well might, they could turn into a flying section where you fly to the next part of the track. I mean, the thing is, there's so many possibilities here for what they could update, and, you know, unfortunately, they may just keep it as simple as possible and just, you know, retain it, you know, to be exactly what it is right now. But, you know, hopefully they won't. There is a lot of potential here. Alright, moving on, you know, we've got the minecarts here. Again, it does the anti-gravity. This could be a lot steeper. I think that'd be really cool if it banked a lot more, make it just a little bit more exciting. And that could continue up here, a sharp bank to the left. And then we, of course, reach a split path. Now, if we head to the right, you know, I don't know if they'll do much here. They could, again, turn this into a jump, maybe a flying section, just cut out the whole dip here, and make it to just fly to the exit. Although, I think that would remove a little bit of the charm of this course, because I do really like the dips. They are actually a very distinctive part of this track. But what they could do, again, is add a jump here, or a flying section, and have you fly to the final corner, or the final turn. Again, I don't know if they will, but it's a possibility. But there is one thing I think is a strong chance of happening, and that is in the alternate path here. If we time it right with these minecarts, and hopefully I'll get enough speed. Yeah, I made it. I think there's a really good chance they could turn this into an anti-gravity section for real, and have you go up the wall, basically like this. I mean, it almost basically looks like you're doing that now, and they just have to make it a little bit steeper. And it'd be something like they've done a little bit in Sherbet Land, where you have the tunnel, you know, that comes up from underwater. I guess it wasn't anti-gravity, but you know, something along those lines, where you drive along the wall, more like Thwomp's Fortress, or Thwomp Ruins, for instance. So it's a possibility. You boost along the wall there, and then you would shoot out here into maybe again into a flying section. All right, then we have the final curve coming up, which again I have a feeling they will cut the half pipe there, unless they turn it into an anti-gravity wall section, which is a possibility. You know, they could maybe remove, take out the half pipe stunt portion and just make an anti-gravity wall section. It would be a little bit weird because it would be going out of your way, but they could add some speed pads along and maybe like add iron boxes there to, you know, make it a little bit more exciting. So that basically covers it, guys. The only other idea I have is for the mine carts, they could maybe add coins trailing behind them, just to tie into the greedy nature of Wario, and how they've added a few more coins to the sign of his in the Mario Kart 8 version. And speaking of coins, you can earn some cash yourself for sharing your opinion with this video sponsor, Opinion Outpost. You see, research companies need your opinion on things like food, TV, movies, new products, and politics. And in exchange, you can earn cash or gift cards for Amazon and iTunes for your effort. In addition, you can be entered into a quarterly drawing for $10,000 each time you fill out a survey. And there's no limit to how many times you can enter. It's free to join, so all you have to do is click the link in the description below and then check the promotions tab in your Gmail for survey opportunities from Opinion Outpost. Alright, so that fully covers it. I know this one wasn't quite as exciting as the others, partially because we already know how a third of the track will play, basically. But, you know, there's still room here for them to play around with it, especially in the latter part. I really do hope they take advantage of anti-gravity. If not, I still stand by my video of Wario Coliseum, which would make so much sense for this game to upgrade it with anti-gravity mechanics. Alright, now I'm just rambling, so I'm done here, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for more Mario Kart 8 videos, including an upcoming second part of our analysis about the DLC. But there's a few more things I want to talk about in it. And of course, we'll have tons of more Smash Brothers coverage too. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.